Hey, what's up? It's Kai. From collecting nasty bugs to the guy a little too obsessed with Superman, here are 10 of the weirdest collections ever. Number 10. Cockroach Collection. There are many people in the world who love the idea of an animal, so much so that they'll decorate their house with items related to them. Cats, so cheetah print and tiger stripes. Dogs, so paw prints and whatnot. Snakes, snakeskin. The list goes on and on, you get it. But for one girl, named Shelby Counterman, she fancies cockroaches. Yeah, I know. She loved them so much in their live form that she started to collect them, a lot of them. As in, she's obsessed with them and literally has thousands of them in her room as pets. She said, "When I started collecting cockroaches, I had 5. Now I have thousands. I want to teach people about my roaches because they're not monsters. They can be really cute and funny." If you say so, Shelby, if you say so. If you think that her family is on board with all of this, I am shocked to tell you that they are. Reluctantly. Shelby even convinced her brother to go and keep a tank of her cockroaches in his room because she didn't have enough room in hers. Everyone has to have a hobby, right? Number 9. Miniature chairs. You're going to have to sit down for this one. Chairs are important, right? They do a lot of good for a lot of people, including allowing you to sit and relax and do various tasks with your butt planted. But for Barbara Hartsfield, she found herself going and buying and making miniature chairs. It started out as a fine little hobby, but then, over the course of 10 years, that hobby grew. She eventually found herself with over 3,000 miniature chairs, which got her a Guinness World Record in 2008. The next year, Hartsfield opened her gallery in a quaint antebellum home in Stone Mountain Village, where you can see her impressive collection and how she has all kinds of miniature chairs, including ones in bottles, ones in bird feeders, ones made of toothpicks, and more. Some would likely point out that this was a hobby gone wrong, but as long as she is happy with her collection, isn't that all that matters? One butt to rule them all. Number 8. The Charizard Collection. For those of you who don't understand anime or the franchise that is Pokemon, Pokemon came to the world as a video game published by Nintendo and made the legendary company Game Freak. When the first 2 games came out, Red and Blue in the US, Red and Green in Japan, they were a monster hit, pun intended. And the RPG experience has gone on for 8 generations of Pokemon, and it's one of the highest grossing franchises in all of history. One of the key things that was released during that opening salvo was the Pokemon trading card game, and the rarest card to get was Charizard, which was one of the best Pokemon ever in the eyes of many. So imagine the shock from Rick and Chumley from Pawn Stars when a guy came in with a collection of all Charizard cards. Yes, not a bunch of Pokemon cards and some Charizards, it was an all Charizard collection. When they brought in the expert, he admitted that the guy apparently had 20% of the market of Charizard cards. Think about that for a moment. There was even one card he labeled as literally the only one in the world. The collection was appraised at $390,000, which isn't something you'd expect to see and hear from a Pokemon card collection. Ironically, Rick Harrison felt that this was out of my warehouse, and thus he turned down the collection just because he didn't know that he could sell them for that price. There are a lot of people out there who collect Pokemon cards, and that's totally fine. But to dedicate yourself to just collecting one card and then being able to get 20% of the market, that's weird and yet impressive. I remember when I collected Pokemon cards, I had a whole binder full of them. No big deal. Did you guys ever collect any cards? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos like these. Number 7. Fossilized dinosaur poop. In the world right now, there are plenty of people who not only love dinosaurs, but are aching to go and get all sorts of dinosaur fossils to own. They'll buy them, organize digs for them, and so on because these bones are artifacts of history and are very special. But one thing that most aren't interested in is the fossilized dinosaur poop that is occasionally found. But for George Franson, It's the only dinosaur remains he's interested in, which of course is pretty weird. His collection isn't just weird, it's massive, as he has almost 1,300 pieces of fossilized feces from dinosaurs. And yes, that's a world record. The collection includes dumps from species who lived in 15 states and 8 countries. The collection was so expansive that he took them on a tour of sorts by doing an exhibition at a museum in South Florida back in 2015. The largest piece of remains is from an ancient crocodile. Are there better ways to spend one's time? More than likely, but you can't crap on his success because it's well earned. Number 6. Traffic cones. More than likely, you see traffic cones every once in a while in the city or the small town that you live in. They're used to direct people away from certain areas and alert them of ongoing construction. Using them for such is fine and safe, but collecting them as if they're special? Yeah, that's a bit weird. David Morgan doesn't care though, because he's been collecting traffic cones for years and has been doing so with a song in his heart. Plus, his teenage daughter, Connie Poppy, is totally cool with the whole thing. It's a brilliant collection and very unusual. I've certainly never heard of anyone else collecting cones, she told the Oxford Mail. I'm not a particular fan of cones, but it's something to tell my friends, and they're all impressed. She does, however, have limits. If I see a new cone, I'll always tell him where it is, though I wouldn't bring it back myself. David does have a reason for loving traffic cones though, and it's pretty simple when you think about it. He's the sales director of Oxford Plastic Systems, the world's largest pylon producer. His connection to them is understandable, I guess. How many does he have? Over 500. Number 5. Back scratchers. If you take a little trip to Mansfred S. Rothstein's dermatology clinic in Fayetteville, North Carolina, why wouldn't you want to take a look at the world's largest back scratcher collection? Talk about entertainment. Rothstein owns more than 800 of the handy tools. Most of them are displayed in cabinets in the examination rooms and hallways all over his practice. He's been doing this since the 1970s, and the collection just keeps getting bigger. And he gets pretty creative with his collection too. The Wild Doctor spread includes one back scratcher with an alligator foot, another made from buffalo ribs, and 3 electric models from the early 1900s. Over 71 are from different countries too. Let's just say he had an itch and he continues to scratch it. Number 4. Dalek collection. When it comes to sci-fi series, especially ones that have had a global impact on the world, Doctor Who is one that definitely turns heads, especially with the past 5 series where the world has grown to love the franchise even more. But back in the original days of the show on BBC, many were wondering if such a show would even work, and its creator almost didn't get the approval to make one of its all-star villains in the Dalek. The Daleks are the ultimate murder machines in the Doctor Who universe. They are small entities in powerful shells that go and try to exterminate all life outside of themselves, and they'll even kill themselves if they think they are impure. Naturally, fans loved it, and so people tried to collect Dalek memorabilia whenever they could. But for one man named Rob Hull, it's an obsession that has landed him a Guinness World Record. But there are a few twists in his collection origin story. You'd think that he was a super fan of the show, but he's not. You see, when he was 11, his mother refused to buy him a Dalek toy, so he swore he would go and buy his own. Fast forward to when he was 29 and he got his first one. Fast forward a bit later, and now he has 571 Daleks ranging in size from tabletop knickknacks to a 6-foot replica. Just as ironic, while he has a wife that loves him, she hates the Dalek collection. I hate the bloody things, and I've got a feeling this is only going to encourage him. You can tell that she's the kind of woman that when the time comes, she'll want to go to the collection and exterminate. Number 3. The Superman Museum. Showing love for a comic book character is not weird at all, and there are plenty of people out there who would proudly go and say that they're a die-hard fan and collect things like comics, toys, movies, and more that feature their favorite character. But in a place called Metropolis, Illinois, a name that should ring a bell to DC comic fans, there is a literal museum dedicated to Superman, one that was built by a man who loved Superman a lot. The museum features over 70,000 plus items from the life's work of a longtime Superman enthusiast and collector, Jim Hambrick, who has amassed one of the greatest collections of Superman memorabilia in the world. To be clear, this isn't just a random assortment of Superman memorabilia. It's over 75 years worth of items, from toys to posters to trading cards to VHS and DVDs of the various series Superman has been in, to actual memorabilia from the movies and TV shows featuring both Superman and his extended family. One of the most impressive things the collection has is one of the last George Reeves Superman costumes in existence. The collection is so large that they have to alternate what is shown from time to time so that new things can be featured. The museum is a hallmark of the town and its annual Superman Celebration convention that happens every June. Number 2. Umbrella sleeves. I'm not saying that someone that collects umbrellas is weird. It's actually something that some have done for various reasons, including a very certain famous penguin. But rather, I'm talking about the collection of umbrella sleeves, which was done by Maine resident Nancy Hoffman. But how this came to be is a bit of an interesting story, one that her museum, which is also her house, loves to tell. The Little Museum was born in 1996 when oddly named Maine resident Nancy Hoffman found between 5 to 7 umbrella covers simply laying in her closet with nothing to cover. Inspired by the empty leftovers, Hoffman accumulated more of the sheaths from friends and family and opened her collection of around 80 covers with an official ribbon cutting. In total, the museum now houses over 700 umbrella covers of all shapes and sizes, ranging from doll accessories to patio furniture-sized covers. It should also be noted that those over 700 covers are from over 50 different countries, thus giving her not just a unique collection to show off to her friends and family and visitors, but also has got her a world record. Finally, when it comes time to welcome people to her museum home, she pulls out an accordion and plays them "Let a Smile Be Your Umbrella." Sick, Hoffman, sick. Number 1. Sugar Packets Collection. In Europe, especially in places like the UK, there is a bit of an odd collection trend that has been going on for years, because many people will go and collect sugar packets, as if they're as good as anything else they find at the table they're sitting at. The man who owns the biggest collection, though, happens to be German. Rolf Schroeder of Lower Saxony claimed a whopping 14,502 different sugar packets, with the oldest dating back to the 1950s. If you're curious, the person who had the record before him had a packet collection of over 9,500. So, as you can see, people really do take this collection action seriously, even if it doesn't make sense to the rest of the world. Thanks for watching. What did you think of this look at the collections that people have made that might seem a little over the top? Do you collect anything? Anything weird enough to be on a list like this? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos like these.